So, I have been keeping busy during this last week or so, completing the development of the Raspberry Pi. The guys from Signal K released a new version of KIP, KIP, that is amazingly good, and it's faster, and it have even more data, more possibility of data that it had before. So, and also the kind of connections that you can do. But at the moment, my Raspberry Pi gets all the data from NVIDIA 2000, and I actually created an influx database where everything goes in, and then I use that influx database to pick the data and create historic data for the boat. I also have, how can I say, automatic actions on using RedNote. So I teach my boat to talk to me. The whole point is that I wanted to have a secondary backup navigation system, as you know. So if everything goes bad, my Raspberry Pi can power the NVIDIA 2000 network. It can actually helps me navigate. I have a chart plotter and everything in it. But also now it gives me anchor alarm, anchor position, speed over ground, head over ground, heading over ground. Heading over ground, and it gives me also things like the state of the anchor from Telegram. Not only it will send me alerts and messages if to my Telegram. So if I am offshore, because right now what happened is that everything that I did in this boat helps me when I am on the boat. But a week ago, we got hit by 50 knots of wind at anchor here in Poros, and we couldn't left the boat because we were worried what happened if the anchor start dragging, if any issues, right? So it got me thinking, what if I can teach my boat to tell me if he's dragging, if he's picking up speed, if wind is over X amount. So I created a Telegram bot and then an automated flow on RedNote that essentially does that. It will send me an alert automatically via Telegram. So here's what we have, right? Let me show you on the screen. I have my Signal K installed, my Signal K server, and these are the main apps that I needed. Freeboard, the chart plotter, instrument panel. This is the original from Signal K, but I'm not using this one. I'm using the KIP one, which is this one here. Then we have RedNote and hooking anchor alarm, of course influx, vessel position, and logbook. So this is I built this to suit me. But if you guys know how KIP works, you can actually at any time you want. You just need to unlock here, and you can move any of these, and you can create as much as you want. You can do it the way you want it. This is the one that suits for me. I have four different dashboards, and each one of them do something. Like this is the general one. This is the one that I leave, for example, on during night. This is the one that I have during navigation, and essentially gives me the time, gives me the odometer, so the maximum, the total amount of miles that we have navigate to this point. Of course, since we bought the Furuno chart plotter. We have latitudes and longitude. We have the solar watts, so how much is coming in from the solar, the battery state. We have the pitch and roll. We have the true winds. We have the speed over ground, the apparent wind, the speed through water, and then we have the diesel and the inverter. So the electrical, if it's inverting, if it's doing something. I also added the MSSI number, and when it's sunrise, sunset, moonrise, and moonset. So this is what I use for navigation. I have my chart plotter here, which is Freeboard. Freeboard is really nice. I connected it through NVIDIA 2000, so I also have my IIS here, so I can see all of my IIS targets. I can click on them. I can see the information. I can do whatever I want with this. I can create routes. It's a chart plotter. To all the effects, it's a perfect chart plotter that works really well. It doesn't have the maps from. It doesn't have the depths, as navionics, but everything else is there. The maps are really clear. You even have your ferry corridors, so you can avoid those, and it's global. Everything is in there, so it works really well. Here on this side, you have I have the anchor watching system. The anchor watching that I use is the Hawking one, and the good thing about this one is that when you set your anchor, you know, for example, let me get rid of this. Is when I set my anchor, like, you know, I can actually say how far my anchor is from me. So in this case, I pay out 60 meters of chain, like that, and I can tell her where that anchor is, and it's in this direction, right? And then I can drop it, and I can give her a maximum radius. So if the boat goes out of this radio, that's when the alarm goes off. I also have my 3 data navigation with the wind, apparent wind, and everything else. AC loads, DC loads, and I have my solar panels here. And this in knots is the average speeds of the boat in 24 hours. So I can, you know, make my calculations of how much I actually sailed and everything that I did, right? So moving forward, this is the other one that I have. Here, this one is actually like electrical one, and it have like everything of electric, water, and everything that I need in that case. So what it tells me is the state of the inverter, the hertz in, the AC in voltage in, the AC in watts in. This is 0 because I'm not connected to the shore power at the moment. But it gives me also my outs. So this is the consumption. All of this is the consumptions in watts, in amperes, everything that is the consumption of the boat. So I can keep track of how much I create and how much I get. The status of the batteries is, in this case, is the voltage of the battery, 13.3. This is because it's lithium. I also have my diesel here. And then on top here, you have the 3 MPPTs, solar. So it tells me right away if they're on, right away the amount of ampere they are producing, how much they produce in 12 hours. Okay, so this is the graphic. This is why you need Grafana, so you can create graphics of historic data, and you can see, you know, your performance over the day, how they are building, and also the status. Now, this is if bulk, float, whatever it is, right? Idle, anything. The good thing about this is that I don't have it now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the historic data to actually give me alerts when to, for example, clean the solar panels, because you can see that in the same days, with the same sun, with the same atmospheric situation, your solar panels start producing less, so you can see actually when you need to clean them. But also if something's happening, like one of the panels is producing less, or one of the PTs are, you know, sending less, or whatever it is, you will see it immediately, because it will give you statistical numbers of what was and what is. I also have that's why you have, if you see here, I have my yield today for each of the MPPTs, and I have my yield yesterday for each of the MPPTs. So one thing, for example, that you will see right away in this moment is that yesterday there was a day pretty much exactly the same as today. It yield 2.1 kilowatts, the MPPT, the 277, and today it yield 1.4. Yesterday 2.8, 1.7, 1.6, 1.2. I know why this is. It's because yesterday I actually produced water and took a shower, so it had to produce more. Today they actually turned off like 4 p.m. They were turned off because everything was full, so it doesn't matter. But this is the good thing. And also I can see the maximum ampere, the temperature here of the battery, so I can keep track. These are lithium, so you know, I don't want to play with them. Another cool thing. This is another cool thing that I did. I don't have at the moment. My water maker is a portable one from Rainman, and my water displays, sensors, water tank sensors are broken. I'm still waiting to get the new ones. The guys from Sailing Volo got them, and they are sailing, and we are gonna, you know, we are gonna meet at some point, and I will get it. But for now, I don't have it. So What I did is that I calculated how much water my water maker will make how much time my water maker takes to make 10 liters of water, and it's 6 minutes. So essentially makes 100 liters per hour. So what I did here is I created this small thing. This is built in RedNote, and what it does is that when I start making water, I just click start, and what it does is that it tells me how many liters we are producing per second, essentially, so I can see when my when my tanks are full, but also the time remaining for the 200 liters to be done. So I can, I can work with it. I know how much water I put in the tanks, and how, the times that is still there. The still remaining in order to get filled and everything. So this is pretty cool. I did it for myself. I needed it, so I created it in this case. And then I have another dashboard here, which is that is essentially the chart plotter, so I can navigate and use it. And I have the essentials here, just my true winds, my apparent winds, and my depths, 3 data navigation, and the chart plotter. This is called logbook, and when you connected everything, it's really cool, because what it's going to do is going to create a automatic logbook of everything in your that you have been doing. It will tell you the course, the speed, the weather. You will have the barometer. I don't have an EMEA barometer. I'm buying one. It's going to arrive. It will give you their coordinates, fix. It will give you your log, so the total amount at that point of nautical miles, and your engine. I don't have it, so we are sailing. But it's gonna tell you if you were sailing, if you stopped, if you were anchor. It will give you everything. And the cool thing, it will create a map for you, so you will have your map of your navigations. Of course, I installed this and configured and created everything, all the connections and everything when we were in Athens. So this is from the 3,000, nearly 4,000 nautical miles that we already did. We only have the ones from from Athens. But the cool thing is actually it's really sensitive. Yesterday, we went to visit these 2 small places, the small base here, just beside Poros. This one, I don't remember the name, in the Russian Bay. And then we came back the day after, and you can see everything. And you can actually click on it, and you can see all of the information of what you were there. You can actually edit. You can make remarks or stuff like that. It's pretty cool. So how this is done? Wait, you need to see this. So in RedNote, I have these flows. So I have one flow right here that is essentially getting every 5 minutes. It will get from my NEMEA 2000 network directly. It will, because I send everything to Influx, and it will consult Influx and get the wind speed. Okay, so this is localhost, which is essentially your Raspberry Pi, and it will get the apparent wind. And if that apparent wind is higher than 15 knots, it will send you an alert that says, hey, wind is higher, and this is the wind that we got. So I did exactly the same for the anchor. So I process an anchor request, and I see if the anchor check. If the anchor is an emergency, it will send me. So if the status of the anchor alarm is emergency, it will send me an immediate message. It will keep repeating that message every 2-3 seconds, and it will give me the position of the boat. If not, if everything is okay, everything is okay. Then I created this other flow here with a Telegram listener that listen in Telegram, waiting for the bot. So when you write something to the bot on Telegram, it will catch that, get a notification, so be sure that it's me, and then it can tell me different things that I want. For now, I have battery, wind, speed over ground, course over ground, position, depth, and anchor, and it will send me back a message. So if I do this, and you can see here all of the, like during the storm, these days that were really high, it kept sending me, if you see, like 20 knots, 19 knots, 16 knots, 19 knots. It gave me an emergency anchor dragging, so the boat was actually moving a little bit out of the circle of trust. Then I asked again, like anchor, and she told me no, everything is back to normal. That was because the wind was so high, it was so strong that it actually moved. It straightened the chain completely and moved me 10 meters back, and then bounce back again. But okay, anyhow, it will give me all these alerts. So let me show you guys. If I do this, if I come here and do / anchor, it immediately responds with the situation of the anchor. If I do / wind, it gets me the wind. If I do / position, it gives me a live position with even the link and Google Maps and everything. And the cool thing about this is that I actually added my brother, my father are added to my boat, so they can consult my boat even if I'm not responding. So it's also a thing of security, right? If for any reason I'm not responding, WhatsApp or whatever, they can actually ask the boat like, hey, where is this guy? What's going on? And they can ask the boat where the boat is and stuff like that. But also if I am off the boat and the boat starts moving, so if I see an anchor message, and because this starts moving, I can ask the boat like, where are you? So even if they try to stall my boat, I can actually ask the boat where he is. You know what I mean? So this is pretty cool, and it was fairly simple to do. If you guys want to know, want to see the development behind and on the functions, how to create these functions and how to set up a system like this, I can do a more like step-by-step video about it. But if you guys need it, just let me know what you think. But it works really well. And also I can show you this. You can actually like access from anywhere on the boat. So let me show you, for example, this, right? If I do, let me turn this off. If I go here, this is the computer on the boat, and it works, have everything in there. But also if I go around here, you will see that everything is also on the tablet, you see? So that tablet goes with me either on the nav pod when underway, or I just have it there where I sleep at night. So I don't have to leave anything on. The more power hungry systems like the Furuno chart plotter or things like that, the only thing that I need to leave on is my IAS, the NIMIA network, and the tablet. That's all, and have all the information that I need. Even when I leave the boat and I go ashore, I just need to leave these 3 things on. Not the tablet. When I go off, I can actually turn off everything but the NIMIA 2000 network that feeds the Raspberry Pi 2. So if I leave that on, everything else works, and I can see all of this information and everything from wherever I am. So guys, let me know if you want to know how to do this, and if you are interested, or is anything that you guys did in your Raspberry Pi that I could do myself in here that will make this system even better.